that reminds me. When we did you look at the stuff that they sent in that Discord when you came in the other month? Did you actually look at all of that? Because I'm gonna feel very awkward. Oh, you did.
Yes, I did. I did. I was at lunch at the time. And I was like, let's see what people have here for me. Oh, it was fun. It was really fun.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, it was fun. I need to drop by the Discord channel more times. But yeah, it was fun. It's always fun when I'm around.
That doesn't sound egotistical at all.
No, I'm not the fun one. It's like I mean, what I mean is that it's fun when I try to use Discord. You know.
I think I get you.
You're getting me wrong.
Hello and welcome back to the Redcast. I'm your host Troy, also known as Red Archer Live, and welcome back to the show all about exploring the world of entertainment through music, acting, content creation, and much, much more. You can probably guess what's coming next, but as always, this episode was available 48 hours early for my patrons before the public release on both YouTube and Spotify. And if you'd like to become a patron, then make sure you head on over to www.patreon.com/RedArcherLive and pledge as little as £1 to get early access to episodes ahead of the crowd. This week's featured review, though, comes from Dex TV, who quite simply wrote, "I love these. Keep up the good podcast." So thanks to Dex for leaving that review. And as always, if you want your review of the podcast read out on the show, then make sure to leave that review down in the comments section below in the YouTube version. And you might just hear me read out your name in 2 weeks' time. But now let's kick off our 8th episode with a bang as the Redcast welcomes on its first musical guest. This man has slowly been building up a portfolio of some awesome video game music, but you might know him best as the composer for Overkill's The Walking Dead and as the new lead composer for Payday 2. It's Gustavo Coutinho. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing fine. Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling all warmed up now after us chatting and joking for literally 15 minutes. Like, I'm just...
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to have a nice warm-up.
Yeah. No,
you're like one of the first people on here that I've not spoken to before the recording. Most of the people I've had on, I've spoken to in some capacity before, so... You know, I had to make sure I didn't hate you before we started.
Do you hate me? Or am I...
Let's see how I feel in the next hour.
Okay. I'll try to impress you.
But no, seriously. What was so funny about us arranging this was we talked about it for a while. I remember saying to you that I was quite interested in bringing you on. You were like, yeah, you know, we'll do this at some point. And then I can't remember quite how it happened, but you popped up in my Discord server at one point. I think someone added you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's very busy. Leave him to do his musical thing. And then you just popped up like, hello.
Yeah.
And everyone just was like, oh my God, it's Gustavo. What's going on? And if I remember correctly, to embarrass myself a bit too much, you got sent a number of embarrassing links of things of mine, did you not?
Yes, I did. They were fun. I got a good couple of laughs. It was nice. Yes.
It's very interesting. I believe one of them was my first Payday video, the good old Bank Heist 101.
Yes, it was.
Oh, what do you think of that cultural masterpiece?
Yeah, it was actually really interesting, like to see that years ago, and to see that you kept going, you know. No,
it's mad that after such a bad video you actually kept going. Oh my God.
That's not what I mean. I have the feeling that you're gonna twist all my words during this. Okay, I'm prepared.
That's what I do.
No, I mean, like, it was just nice to see that, like, it was 5 years ago. Was 4 years ago? How long?
I think it was
ago was it?
5 years ago now. 5-ish years ago.
Yeah, it was nice to see that you're playing Payday for that long. It's really good. It's really cool.
I don't think nice is the right word for it when it comes to that video. I think abomination comes to mind, but
nah, it was fun.
I just love watching it back and just looking, like, because I forget how bad some of the bits are, and then I watched it again recently and just it was one of my friends on Discord. I mentioned it to him and he was, because I didn't know him. I haven't known him for very long. I was like, oh, you should have seen some of my early videos. And he was like, all right, put one of them on. So I put one on in the watch party, and then I put that one on. He was like, Jesus, this is terrible. This is what on earth is this? Like, he just didn't hold back, and it made me laugh a lot because I'd forgotten half the stuff in it, and I was like, no, you're right.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
It was. Well, I'm glad that you got some enjoyment out of it, even if I got nothing but pain out of it.
You should never be ashamed from where you came from, you know.
It depends on where you come from.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, right. So, let's start this off first off, before we go into very specific Payday musical things. I want to start off first by talking to you about how you got started in the music world generally, from composing music to just playing music. What started you off in that world? What got you interested?
Yeah, well, that's a really tough question. That's harder than it seems.
Good.
I don't know. I always enjoyed like soundtracks, and I was always singing tunes that I heard on games, on films and all that. But you know, when I was younger, I was really shy. I mean, I'm still really shy, but I was really shy when I was young, and I really wanted to play an instrument, but I wouldn't, because I would be afraid of what people would think, you know. And I'll be like, wow, for me to learn to play this guitar, people around me will have to listen to it, and they will have to listen to me making really bad noises on it, and that would really put me off. So I wasn't the kind of kid who started learning piano at 3, you know, or like I have a friend that played drums since she was 4 years old, I guess, and I wasn't that kind of kid. But when it was like, when I was like 15 years old, I started listening to a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers and Primus, and they really use the bass, you know, like it's really interesting to hear how they use the bass, and I got really interested in the bass guitar. And one thing that was nice about the bass is that you can't really hear it when it's unplugged, right?
Yeah.
You can't hear it. It's really quiet. So I could just plug my headphones and learn how to play the bass without having other people listening to me. And since I was very shy, that was really good for me. I was like, yeah, let's do this. And that's how I started, like in the music world. I started playing bass, and as soon as I started playing bass, I noticed that I was more interested in creating my own stuff than like playing covers and playing music from other people. I just wanted to create stuff, and that really kickstarted me into composing, you know. And I don't want to make this like a really long answer, but
no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, no. Eventually, I started to toy with the idea of composing music for games and for other media as well. But since I really like games, I was like, yeah, that could be fun to do. So I started composing specifically for that. And I studied the particulars of music composition, game music composition, which is like the interactivity, you know, because in films, movies are a linear piece, you know. So if a movie have like, if a movie is an hour long, you know that at 30 minutes it will always the same scene will always happen, and in video games that doesn't happen at all unless it's on cutscenes. You know, in video games, you never know what the player will be doing. You never know where the player will be at a certain time. So it's a lot more interactive. So I've studied a lot of that particular aspect, and I started making music focused on games. And I've set up a small portfolio. Small SoundCloud with a few different tracks, and started approaching some indie developers, and that's kind of how I started.
So how old were you when you started actually writing music?
It was when I started writing music for games. It was like 5 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, so it's not been all that long.
Yeah, not that long. No, I mean I've been composing ever since I got my first bass guitar, and but like I would write really shitty music for a long while.
Oh, I relate to that more than you know.
Yeah, you know, never be ashamed of where you came from. No, but so I played in a few different rock bands and things like that, and we made some shitty music, and it was fun, but you know, it's just practicing ever since then. So yeah, it's been like 5 years since I really started to try to make it into being a video game composer.
Okay, I can relate to making the bad music to begin with. I mean, I started because my thing has been playing piano. I mean,
Ooh.
I don't play it as much as I used to, and I hate myself for that. And I'm going to try and get back into it a bit. But I started learning that when I was bit like fitting into what you were saying about when you were 3, but I think I was 7.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And I remember the music teacher I had, especially in high school, he made a very specific point repeatedly of saying that I didn't have a gift for piano.
Ah, that's bullshit.
No, it wasn't even that. He didn't mean it in a bad way. He meant it kind of like that because I put like the effort into learning it. He said it was almost more impressive because I didn't have that inborn gift, but I was still learning to play it. And
okay.
I mean, I thought when I was younger, I was quite good at it. I had my strong points, my weak points. I mean, getting the different grades for piano when I was in school was always interesting because when they examined you used to be able to learn a few pieces. You had to be able to do your scales and all that, and then you had to be able to sight read music. And sight reading for me was such a weakness. I was so bad at it.
Oh, I can relate to that. I can relate to that.
Oh no, like even in practice, like it got to the point where I'd be practicing it like coming up towards an exam, and I'd be like, right, Trav, go with this bit of music. I'll give you a bit more time so you can get a bit better with it, and I'd still completely screw it up. So it got to the point where I went, right, I'm going to go into this exam, I'm going to mess up the sight reading. I know it. So let's make sure the scales and the music are really good, and I'll be fine. And it always worked, thankfully. And I always used to go in the exam. There'd be a lovely, like, little friendly examiner sat there, like, okay, play this for me, play this. And he put the sight music there. And all I could think of while I was messing up playing it was just, he is probably wincing like mad right now listening to this painful attempts to play this music. I just never looked, though. I never looked behind me because I knew if I did, it would put me off even more.
Well, sight reading is completely difficult. It's I can't sight read as well.
Well, it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
But I remember like after that I'd started writing like I say writing music. I mean, if we're literally talking about putting a few notes on a sheet as writing music, then we can say it was writing music. It wasn't exactly anything grand. And then I'd always remember I'd be so keen to like play it in front of the school or in front of my class and stuff and be like, hey, look at this. And I look back, I came across a few of the old little books I wrote the music in recently and went, oh my god, this is so simple. There's like 3 notes. Did I actually play this? Oh my god.
Yeah, well, my cat is trying to open the door. I'm not sure if you're hearing him like screaming right now.
I can't hear, no.
Okay, that's good because I have a cat and he opens doors, right? He's doing it again.
Oh, I heard it that time.
Yeah. And he's here with me now because he opened the door. He opened the door of the studio and he just entered. And he's a little son of a bitch.
Wow. Yeah. First time I've had more than one guest on the podcast in one episode. Great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, if you hear him screaming, just try to ignore, please.
Just know the cat is okay. Not in pain.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not killing him. He's just having fun around, messing with my equipment. Hopefully he won't turn off the computer.
But yeah, so I personally, I would love to get back into music composition, but just the height of it for me, and I say height, was that we had to do it for GCSE music. We had to do some composing, and I can't remember. I googled a few of the programs earlier to try and see if I could remember what the name was, and I've got the page up, and I still... Oh, there it is. Sibelius?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used a version of that, I remember. And I remember trying to compose music in that, and I got better at it then, but it still was like, ugh. It was still not the best.
It's a nightmare for me to use Sibelius. Yeah, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Oh, but you really should go back to composing. I mean, it's.
I'd love to.
It would be nice to hear something from you. Listen to some
it would be cool. I want to try and do a bit more singing, to be honest, but I don't have enough self-confidence for that.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that as well.
There's a video of you on YouTube that like got a few people being like, oh, you know, this is pretty good, and I was like, oh, thanks, but I haven't done anything else since then.
Do you have that video up still?
I still have the video up. Why do you want a link?
Oh yeah, I want the link.
Oh god.
Send it to me. Yeah.
Oh, I should have known. Why did I say anything? Where is it? Here it is. There we go.
Cool.
That was on what became the second channel full of memes and trash, but the first thing was me doing singing at university.
Nice. Should I listen to this right now or after the call?
If you're particularly keen, you can listen now, and we'll be back after these short messages. I've never done that before, but.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna listen to it now.
They're all Bastille songs. I don't know. I hope you've heard of Bastille. Otherwise, I'll get very sad.
Oh shit! No, I can't hear it now because I'm using that software I talked about, the voice meter by Nana, and that's messing with my audio system, so I can't really reproduce anything from YouTube. So
Could open it on your phone.
no. Oh yeah, I could. Yes, that's good idea.
Why did I say that? I'm literally encouraging you to watch it
Yeah,
now.
you really want me to watch it. Now I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
I don't. I'm passing on. I'm giving off this impression that I want you to. But
No, I'm already listening to it.
oh, great, fantastic. Skip about a minute because there's like an instrumental.
Okay.
Why am I telling you all of this? Stop.
No.
Stop.
Keep going.
They're all Bastille songs. Because they're like my favorite band. I absolutely adore their music, and I feel like my voice is somewhat similar to the lead singer from that. So I
that's
just stick
nice.
to a lot of Bastille songs. I say similar. I don't mean good.
Yeah, well, let me hear it.
Oh boy.
Man, that's a really good voice.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Don't validate me.
You're doing it a cappella? Like you're doing it solo?
Yeah, the first bit. Yeah, before the music kicks in, there's like very little music.
Oh,
There's like a few beats behind you can't really hear, but it's kind of, yeah.
That's brave, man. Yeah, that's brave. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna die on the call.
No, man, this is really good.
I'm not keeping all this in there. This will be a bonus clip on the podcast
Patreon.
channel.
Put it on Patreon. Bonus clip.
Put it on Patreon.
Yeah.
You know me too well.
Yeah. Man, you're really going for it. Yeah, this is really good. It's really good. It's 14 minutes long, so I'm not gonna finish it all right now, but I'm definitely gonna be back to this.
There's 4 different songs. They're all Bastille, but
Yeah.
I tried to pick different ones and went from there. I can't remember which other ones I did. I think I did Pompeii or Happier. I picked one of their big ones.
Yeah, you did Pompeii, Quarter Past Midnight, Two Evils, and Of the Night.
Oh, did it say in the description?
Yeah, it does.
Look at me, how professional. I didn't even realise it. No, because when you say to somebody, hey, have you heard of Bastille? You either get, oh, they did Pompeii, or they go, no, when you say Pompeii, and they either go, yeah, I know that song, or they go, no, and then you do the, oh, and they go, oh, that song, oh, yeah, that one, I know that.
Yeah, that one.
And I'm like, they've done so much more than that. Why is that the only thing you know of them?
Well, yeah, it happens to every band.
It does.
Or almost every band that has some success.
Should we turn the focus back onto you?
Yeah, we can do that if you want.
The idea with this was like, to find out about the guests and then try and relate a bit with me in it. But this is like the most I've related to something ever in an episode where like it's the shift is almost completely turned on me.
Oh, I see that as a good thing.
I don't like this. This is too much limelight. Directed back on you. So you were saying that you've spent roughly about 5 years composing music for games now. So let's talk about the big boy, because you knew it was coming here, and if you didn't, then you were lured here under false pretenses, and I apologise. But how did you first get signed on to write music for Payday 2? Talk me through how that process started.
Yeah, so actually first I was signed to write music for Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Right, this is what I was gonna say. I wasn't sure which one came first.
Yeah, it was Overkill's The Walking Dead, but I was in Sweden doing the score with them, and they were planning on an update for Payday 2, and they were like, hey, we want to see how you do it in the Payday world. So I tried out some stuff and show them, and they enjoyed it, and that was really it. It doesn't have like a big story. I was just doing Overkill's The Walking Dead, and they needed a composer for Payday 2.
Okay.
And I was there, and I took the opportunity, and yeah, since then that's what I've been doing. Unfortunately, Walking Dead didn't turn out to have a long life.
It's such a shame with that game, because I feel like it had so much potential, and the Walking Dead people just kind of went, no, we're just going to cut it off way before they have chance. Like, there are so many games that have rocky starts that become so good. I mean, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the first one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
That had so much hate when it came out, and by the end of its life cycle, it was a fantastic game. It really was.
Yeah,
and it was all about, give the game a chance, let it build up, and let it get to a good place. But of course, The Walking Dead, as soon as they didn't get as many... No, cut it off, done. And I was just like, why?
Yeah, that really...
They cut it off before it even released on console. Like, I didn't get to play it until recently because of that.
Yeah, that really caught me off guard, actually. And I think nobody at the studio was expecting that. Nobody at Overkill.
No.
Yeah, because we were already working on season 2.
Yeah, they had most of it ready to release. And
Yeah.
they just wouldn't even let them release that. And it was like, people have paid for this content. At least let them put that out.
Yeah, exactly. That was a really weird move. At least that's how I see it. But yeah, it's a shame. I think we had something in our hands that had potential. You know, I really believe that. I mean, it wasn't the best game ever when it came out, and we did a few things wrong, I believe, and we learned a lot with that. But I really think that the next seasons would be better.
Yeah.
And I know the team was really focused on making this experience better. So it was really a shame when they pulled the plug.
It was a real shame.
Yeah.
And I would like to think at some point they'd be given the rights to carry on with it, but I just at this point think it's been so long. I think it's probably I don't want to say dead and buried for the sake of the pun, but you get the idea. I think it's probably, sadly, that's all we're going to hear about it, and it is just such a shame.
Yeah. I at least I don't have any news regarding that.
Oh no, I wouldn't imagine you to, and I wouldn't ask you either way. But no, I remember when I was playing it, because like I said, I was so excited for it to come out on Xbox, because at that point, I mean, with the Payday 2 stuff, I was only doing Xbox, like, console stuff, Payday 2. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the issues that Payday 2 has on console with DLC and all that. It's, you know, a little bit far behind and all that.
Yeah.
So I started off by just doing, like, news about console updates, etc. Because I only played on Xbox. My PC was surprisingly one that could even record footage when I look back on the specs of it, because the specs were atrocious. But I couldn't play any PC games on it. I tried to launch Payday 2 once when they gave out the copies of the game for free. And literally, I tried to load up one bank heist, and my computer nearly completely melted.
Oh.
The heat on it, I cannot begin to explain to you. It was running awfully. It felt like it was all going to melt. Like the keys were going to just start melting under my fingers. It was awful. So I was like, all my games were on console. Walking Dead's coming out a bit after in February on Xbox and PlayStation. I was like, oh, cool. I'll play it when it comes out. And then it got cut before it came out. I just thought, oh. But then I came around to it. I eventually realised I got sent a code for it. Like, I can't even remember when it was, but I had a code. I hadn't claimed it for PC. I was just like, oh, cool, let's have a look. And I remember one of the first things came, and I thought, didn't Gustavo do the music for this as well? I think I said it in the recording as well. I was like, listening to music, I was thinking, this music's really good. And I'm not just saying that because you're here, because I don't want anything in this to be like me kissing your ass or whatever, because that's not what it's about. But genuinely, I was listening to the music and being like, this is cool. Like, you had the atmosphere of it captured really well. So it would have been nice to have seen more levels and seen more music come out, but what can you do? What can you do, honestly?
Yeah, but thanks. I'm really glad that you tried it out.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I played of it.
I hope you had some fun with it.
I think I'm going to try and live stream it again at some point and just put a bit more time into it, because it is a good game and it deserves more love. But we'll see. So what was the first, if you remember, I don't know whether you do, but what was the first track you actually did for Payday 2?
Yeah, I remember it was Jokes on You.
Jokes on You, right. It was a stealth track. I couldn't remember quite when the transition happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in April 2018 or something like that. Maybe it was May 2018. Yeah. So I was already working on Walking Dead.
Yeah.
We were in the beginning of the soundtrack production, and I got the chance to try it out. And it was a fantastic experience. Like as soon as I started to write music for Payday, I was like, man, I could do this for years. Don't
get rid of me, please.
It was really fun. Yeah. Like can we keep doing it? It was really fun. But I remember I was super nervous for that first track, because you know the Payday has a history of really good music.
Yeah.
And like the work that Simon Wiklund did. And I think I don't need to introduce him here.
No,
I think everybody will know who he is. And the work he did with Payday was fantastic. So it was like a big pressure for me to try and honor that, you know, and try to keep up with the quality. Yeah. So, but it was really, really fun. On one hand, I was really happy with the faith that the team put in me, and I can't stress this enough that the audio team at Overkill, they are fantastic, and they're really, really friendly people, and they really do know their shit.
Yeah.
And they always helped me a lot throughout this long journey. If on Walking Dead and on Payday, you know, they're always helping me, and so they're really great people. And so on one hand, I was really happy about the opportunity and the faith that they put in me. On the other hand, I was really really nervous, but it was fun, and I'm really happy that the community accepted me well, and it's such a nice community, and I'm very happy to being able to do music for Payday.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I mean, because your first track came out in April of 2018, that means you only had about half a year before then. The game, well, as it was initially planned to, had ended.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, yeah, you've done a few tracks, and it was like, okay, Payday 2's done now, we're good. But then obviously they come back at the end of 2019, and by that point you are literally de facto the composer. You're doing the music for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So especially now, I imagine you got quite a lot of reception for the tracks originally in 2018, but at least from what I've seen now, especially in the last year or so, you get a lot more people coming to the music because they know that you're the guy. You know, you're the lead composer. Every time there's a new heist, it's like, right, Gustavo's going to be doing a new track, let's see what it's like this time. And just seeing the discussions about it, I think is fantastic, because it's so important, the music of the game, and everyone's saying, oh, you know, I've really liked this track by him so far, I want to see what he's doing this time. And I just love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, yeah, I love it too. Yeah, it really is. It's a weird feeling on one hand to have like people really listening to your music and commenting it.
Yeah.
And really caring about it. But yeah, I'm really happy about the reception of the community, and it's really great. It was they were really open towards me. They're really friendly with me and all that, and that's really nice. I just hope to continue doing some really good tracks for the game, because I know that the music is really really important for the franchise, and I know that the community enjoys the music a lot, and they enjoy like following what's going on in the music department, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just try to do my best at each heist, like try to put more effort and make tracks that are better than the last one that I did, and just keep going forward and give the community a nice soundtrack to play the game to.
Yeah, I think, and I reinforce the point of not sucking up or anything here, but in particular, Cake Wish I think was absolutely fantastic. I think that's a universally agreed thing. That one is brilliant, especially just because it's literally the happy birthday song made into like a proper heavy musical track for Payday 2. It's brilliant. But I've got to be honest with you, in particular Deadeye, I have struggled to get that out of my head when I've been editing videos. Even when the song's not even in there, I'm just listening to myself talk, and I can hear Deadeye looping in the back of my head, and I'm like, this song is an earworm. And I haven't had that with a lot of Payday tracks, but that one in particular, I was like, my God, this is brilliant. Because it got to the point where every time a new update came out and I was live streaming it, especially this most recent one, I was like, right, new track from Gus, let's out, give it a listen. I put it on the menu and just listen to it and be like, oh, okay, all right. It's like a ritual now, and it's brilliant. I love it.
Oh man, yeah, thanks. That's really really cool to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Cake Wish was really fun to make, because it was just like for the Payday birthday, right? So it wasn't really tied to a heist or anything like that. So I could just go bananas with it.
Yeah.
And and I just wanted to make something that is fun and works on the context of birthday. And I thought, yeah, that could be weird and fun to make, and it was. I like how that worked out.
Simon did something like that with Jingle Bells. I don't know why my brain shut off there. But
yeah.
Pimped Out Getaway, when he remixed like
Pimped Out Getaway,
that was fantastic. That's another one that was really good. It's like kind of like a song where it's like, hey, it's not Christmas, but I'm still bopping along to this. This is great. It's like you and him have now both taken something that's like a general like traditional theme for something and just gone, hey, let's make this like a proper Payday 2 heist track, and it's worked, and it's so cool to see.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
There was one thing I wanted to ask you about, and this is a question I thought of while we were talking. This isn't one I've put on the topic, so, you know, if you're a deer caught into the headlights here, feel free to go, but I was interested, because just from you talking about the composition and everything, is there a specific way in which you go about composing each track for Payday? Is there like a storyboard idea where you kind of think, okay, I want these bits in the song, and then you put it together from there? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, I don't have like a guideline, or like I always start with this, or I always start with drums or bass or anything like that. But I always start like looking at concept art, so like concept art for the heist, and like just reading the documents that the team provide me regarding the heist and regarding the objectives. So I just studied the heist a lot, and as soon as I'm looking at concept art and as soon as I'm reading about the heist, I start to get some ideas, you know, and I just like try to put them in paper real quick, like just sketch some stuff and place some stuff here and there, just to get some ideas flowing, you know. And usually most of that goes directly to the trash, you know, and I don't use it. I have a lot of stuff that I don't use that I did for Payday, and it's unusable. So I just like to start getting my juices flowing.
Yeah.
And as soon as I can, I try the level out. So as soon as they have like a playable version of the heist, I go and I play it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I kind of see it evolving. That's really cool. Yeah. Yeah, just to see if what I'm doing will work, you know, in the pace of the heist and the game in general, because I always try to make the heist the tracks specifically for a heist, but they also have to work with the rest of the game, right? Because you have the jukebox feature. So yeah, I need to find a good balance between working on the heist and working on the rest of the game. But yeah, that's usually how I go. And once I have an idea that I like and that the rest of the other team like as well, because that's always important. I'm always exchanging stuff with them. So I sketch a bunch of like 3 or 4 different ideas and I send to them, and then they give me feedback about them, and we choose one of them to go forward with. And yeah, then it's just like developing the track and fine tuning it, which is really hard, but
yeah,
but it's part of the process, and that's really how it goes.
That's cool. I think that's something quite nice there about the fact that, you know, you base it so heavily off of the heist, off the concept art, off playing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could just quite easily go, we want a bit of music like this, and you could just go, all right, off I go. But
yeah,
you know, you got that heavy base, that not reliance, but that influence from actually playing it and seeing things pan out. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked that. That's because that makes it that much more interesting now, because it means that you are. I mean, we already know you are writing the music for Payday, but it feels like you're writing the music for Payday because you're playing it out and seeing it in depth. That is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, no, that's really how I like to work, like making music that is tailored for whatever is happening in the game.
Yeah.
So I really like to have this contact with the rest of the team and seeing artwork and knowing what's gonna happen when the music I'm doing plays, you know.
Yeah. Well, in that vein then, and this might be a case of choosing between your children kind of thing, but are there any tracks you've done for Payday 2 in particular that stand out for you as your favourite, either just favourite to listen to or just for something that happened in the production of the track or anything like that?
Bone Breaker was my favorite to work on.
Oh.
Yeah, specifically because I did the recordings with a mariachi band, right? I did the recordings for the mariachi band.
Oh wow!
And so we recorded acoustic guitar, like acoustic bass, and the violin and the trumpet. And I really liked the trumpet a lot. Like I had some space for the trumpet player to improvise, right, on the mariachi tracks.
Yeah.
And we recorded a couple of takes. I think it was like 4 or 5 takes, and he was just improvising on some specific points of the music. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of material here that I could use. So I started using them on Bone Breaker, and I thought that's a really interesting blend, you know.
Yeah.
that could be interesting to put out into the world, and I went forward with it, with the idea of using the trumpet and some acoustic guitar as well that we recorded in that session. And I really had fun on the process, you know, just messing up with the recordings, messing up with the trumpet recordings, putting effects on it, and trying different stuff to get a particular feel. And it was really nice to work on that. And I really liked the result as well.
That is cool that you got an actual mariachi band in on it.
Yeah. It's not really a mariachi band right now. It's like just for guys that I know about them, and I played with them, and so I hired them to be the mariachi band, the quote unquote mariachi band for Payday. So it was really fun. That was a really good experience to go into the studio and record them. We just spent the whole day recording stuff, and that was right before the COVID outbreak.
Yeah.
So it was in January, I believe, this year. So that makes it that much more special, because it was the last time I was playing with someone. And it was fun.
Yeah, so you managed to like get the last recording in before it all went wrong in the world, as they say.
Yeah. And it was nice because I used that trumpet in Dead Eye as well. So it's from the same session. It's all stuff that was from that session, and we recorded so much content that I could use it on 2 different tracks.
I love it. Yeah, Bone Breaker is a great track. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm constantly sliding in compliments.
It's okay. It's okay.
So yeah, that's really good. That's a really good track you got there. Yeah, that's really good. Should be proud of that one.
We just don't let anyone know that I have a gun pointed at you right now.
Don't mention it on the podcast, because then they'll know you have.
Yeah. You cut that part off.
You don't control me anymore. Little do you know the gun's empty.
Oh shit.
Oh
boy.
God. Oh, that's fantastic. But it must have been. So was the composition any different? I mean, beyond the mariachi thing, did you have to look at it from a different angle, because a lot of them took a Mexican theme? Because obviously not all of Payday's heists are typically based in Mexico. It's been like the kind of the campaign thing for last year to have a very Mexican flair. So did that at all impact how you, beyond the mariachi band, did that at all impact how you compose the music?
Yeah, it did, because I wanted to have a bit of that Mexican and Latin influence into the music, but it should still feel like Payday, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I had to. Yeah, it was really, really hard to find that balance between them, and it started out with Dirt and Dust, and it took a lot of trial and error until I reached a point where I was happy with the direction. But yeah, it was a bit different, like how I would approach a normal track, like Underground Lockdown, for example. So it's a bit of a different approach, because I have to take all of that Mexican context and I have to take that in keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was particularly fun to do that because of this extra layer of complexity, I guess. It was really a really cool challenge.
And then obviously now, with whatever direction you take it in 2021, whether they go to another different country or they stay in America, it's going to present another different edge, hopefully, or just, it's constant. It's good because you get to kind of like reinvent the music as you go along and still keep it very Payday, but
yeah, you
get to mix it up and take it in different directions, and I think that's great.
Yeah, and yeah, I hope at least that I'm keeping things very Payday.
Yes.
So far. But yeah, that's really the challenge, to do something new and different, and also that blends well within the Payday world. And yeah, but I really like how it turned out, the Silk Road campaign, how the music turned out for that.
It's great. So have you actually been playing a lot of Payday beyond writing the music for it? Because obviously you're playing the heists to do the music composition. Do you actually play the game in your own spare time as well?
Yeah, I actually don't play that much right now, because I'm always working a lot with it. So like in my spare time, I like to do other stuff as well. But I used to play it even before working on Overkill. So that was interesting, because it was like suddenly I'm working on this game that I played.
Wow.
And I wasn't like a super avid player with like 500 hours into it, but I did my fair share of heists. I played it for a couple of like 50 hours, 60 hours or so. It was, I've played it for a bit. That's a lot for me. Like that's a lot for me.
I was gonna say compared to my hours, oh boy.
Yeah, I can't imagine how many hours they have on it.
I worked it out recently because I had to combine the Xbox time and the PC time, because most of it's Xbox One. I think it was about 2,600, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's probably more like 2,700.
Like you're looking at me right now, like, huh?
Weakling.
Dead guy. Yeah, exactly. No, but like I'm not such a multiplayer player. You know, I don't really play many multiplayer games, so I'm more of an adventure player. So I don't really spend like hundreds of hours in one game.
Yeah, no, I get.
So to me, playing 60 hours of Payday was really a lot. I really enjoyed the game, and of course I enjoyed the soundtrack as well, and that really caught my attention.
Well, now you're making me want to sidestep a bit. I kind of want to know what specific games you're into then, which ones you've been playing.
Yeah, right now I'm playing Days Gone.
Okay.
I'm playing Days Gone right now, yeah. And I'm about to start the Miles Morales game.
Oh, don't tease me. I really want to play that.
Yeah, me too. And it arrived yesterday, but I didn't have time to play it yet. So probably we'll be playing on the weekend if everything goes well.
Have you got a PS5 like to play it on, or is it PS4 version?
Yeah, no, it's the PS5. Oh. Yeah, I was fortunate to get a PS5. Yeah.
You lucky beggar. I've been trying so hard to get hold of the Xbox Series X. I'm going to try and get both consoles this time, because there are several games on PlayStation I missed out on, like the original Spider-Man and Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, was another one that looked quite nice, but there were so many games that, like PS4 to me definitely has better exclusives than Xbox. It's just I've played Xbox since the 360, and I like being able to carry the same stuff and friend group and stuff across, so I've always stuck with Xbox. But there are so many games on PlayStation, I'm like, I really wish I could play that. So I'm going to try this time and get both consoles at some point so I can play stuff like Miles Morales, because it looks so good, and I really want to play it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, me too. I actually finished Horizon Zero Dawn recently. I think it was like last month or so, and it's a really good game. It's a really good game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fantastic, that, because it's is it Ashley Birch is the lead actress in it, isn't she? And she was Chloe Price in Life is Strange, which is my all-time favorite game. I adore that game.
Oh, I love Life is Strange. Yeah.
Yes, win.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
my God,
I really love Life is Strange.
It's like the whole series.
Really
is
favorite
fantastic.
of mine.
I really love them. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the second one. To be fair, I think that one dropped the ball a little bit. But that first game and I remember because I played the first game like not long before the Storm prequel came out.
Yeah.
So I didn't have like loads of time between. I was kind of just like, oh my God, this is coming out in a few months. Oh, this is gonna be great. I remember the hype for it. It was brilliant. But yeah, just that first game, there's so many different influences and themes and stuff in it, and I think it's just so fantastically done. I always love the reaction I get when someone goes, what's your favourite game? And I don't say Payday, and I say Life is Strange. They go, what? It's not Payday 2? I'm like, hey, look, okay, I love Payday 2. It's up there, but not quite. Because people always go, no, it should be the top game. I'm like, well, you know, like...
Yeah.
It's probably, I think Payday's probably third place for me, I think, because I don't know whether I'd put Skyrim above or below Payday 2, based off, like, the love I have for that game for so many years since I was younger, and the amount of hours I put into it. Like, you know it's bad when it gets to the point where, like, because my mum had played a little bit of it, I got her to give it a go, because I was so addicted, so she knows the first mission, so she'd recognise the opening for it, and it got to the point where she would walk past me sometimes and just go, have you started another game in that again? She'd recognise it from the screen. So you know when she's making a comment like that I'm playing a bit too much of the game, because it just keep making new characters over and over and over again. It was so stupid, but it was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't really play Skyrim that much. Yeah, no, I should really go back into it. But I mean, I'm sure there will be a PS5 remaster or something like that.
It wouldn't surprise me. They've literally released out about everything else at this point.
Yeah, you wouldn't surprise me.
At the very least, it'll be backwards compatible, the PS4 version at the very least, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
So you could pick up that version, the special edition, because that's a great version, and you can have mods in it, which is so cool. I love that, because that adds like such a whole new like angle to the game, and not many console games allow for that. But
yeah,
I think it's brilliant. I love that element to it. But yeah, so just the problem with me at the minute is with games, I think, is that I'm trying my best to find games I can sink a lot of hours into, because there's not a lot of variety at the minute. It's like, I don't think there's too many games coming out at the minute that I'm super interested in. So like when something comes out that I like, I will just descend into like an addiction for it. Like there was about a solid month where I played nothing but the Avengers game, and then I came out of that, and now the new Call of Duty's come out, and I can't stop playing the zombies and that. It's a cycle. Every time something comes out, it's always just pour loads of time into it. It's not good. It's not healthy, but what can you do?
Yeah, yeah, but that's part of my job that I don't like. I don't have too much time to play games right now.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm always working with games. So
It's probably for the best though, so you can keep control of your addiction. Feel like, hey, I've got a reason to not just sink an entire week into this and do something better.
yeah. So that's why when I say that, like, me playing like 60 hours of a game, that's a lot, because I don't really have the time to put all of that into a game right now.
Yeah.
And when I played Payday, I was already working with music for games. So I was already very, very busy regarding that. And that there's also the fact that when you work with something, you don't always want to do that something when you're not working, you know?
Yeah.
Right, with music, like I do music like 12 hours a day. When I'm not working, when I'm not doing music for games, sometimes I want to do music for myself, but not always, you know. and the same goes for games.
Yeah.
Like I'm always playing them and it's very different to play games for work purposes and play games just for entertainment. It's very different, but still sometimes I just want to go and watch a movie instead.
I can't blame you for that.
Yeah. But I really love games. Like I wish I had more time to play more stuff, but I just don't. That's why I'm not too much into multiplayer, because I feel that multiplayer games, you have to put a lot of time into it, you know.
I put more time into the zombies in Black Ops Cold War recently than I would care to admit to. It's a problem.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff out there that I want to play that I just start to feel guilty when I spend more than like 100 hours on something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very much, yeah. I mean, that's the thing now is I'm kind of glad that I've got more things going on, so I don't just spend all day every day playing games, because as much as I love doing that, I like actually having other things to do. So like there's the podcast, I've got my uni work, I've got the YouTube stuff, and now I've got Twitch. I'm trying to like mix things up, even though a lot of it is variations of a theme of just playing games in different ways. At least I'm trying to mix it up a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
different contexts.
Yeah, no, but it's always fun to like take one day and just play games for the whole day and do nothing else and forget to eat and just there playing, you know. I
never forget to eat. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, you eat while you play. Yeah, that's a good idea. I did that last week and it was really, really good. It was really fulfilling.
It must be funny though. Like, I don't know how much of Payday you've actually played recently then, because I know you said you've not really got a lot in it, but have you ever like boosted it up in the more recent years and then started playing Ice and heard your music in the background and sort of gone, oh wait, I wrote that?
Yeah, it's super humbling, yeah, and it's a very weird feeling as well, because I remember not so long ago, I think it was by the beginning of the year, like March or April or something, I actually played Payday with a couple of friends that never played, and I was like, let's play this, and we did, and I always use the music. I always leave the heist music, right, for the heist. Like, I like the specific heist musics, but this day I decided to go random, so I just put the jukebox on random, and that's it. And one of my tracks started playing. I don't remember which one was. I think it was Underground Lockdown.
Yeah.
And it was a very weird feeling. Because like I wasn't expecting that. Like there's 80 tracks on this game.
Yeah, it's like, it won't be mine, surely, and then it's just yours blasting through your ears, yeah.
Yeah. It was, yeah, but it's, like I said, it's super humbling, like, to have my music in such a big game and have people of the community listen to it. It's really humbling and an awesome experience.
It's fantastic, and I love the reaction. I like that, because Payday 2 is so focused on the music, that it does get, you know, comments and critique and stuff. I mean, obviously not all of it's fantastic, but nothing ever is for anything. But the comments you get for the music, that you get so many people saying all about the new tracks and all that. Like I said it earlier. I think it's such a cool thing that it's important to people that they comment on what they think the soundtrack is like. Because a lot of games, it's like the soundtrack's normally good, but it's there to support the game. You don't really notice it. Whereas Payday 2 is like, the music's important. Like, it's really important. There's a focus on it. I think there's something quite special about
Yeah.
that with that game. I think it's really nice. I really do.
Yeah, me too.
It's a game where you're less likely to turn the music off and put Spotify on, because I do that with a lot of games on Xbox. I'm like, this music's cool, but I fancy listening to like a bit of Bastille or whatever, or a bit of Pale Waves. Just like turn the game's audio down, pop Spotify on, and then I'm like, but Payday 2, I just can't do that because I love the music so much. I think it's great.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. Yeah, no, me too.
It pains me sometimes when I make like proper video essay type stuff for Payday 2. I think like I think it was the first time I mentioned you that we were talking about earlier, that video. Sometimes when I'm doing videos for Payday and I want to have like different music for different segments, because I have the gameplay in the background, I have to turn the music off, so that then you don't have music clashing with like the music in the video and then the music in the gameplay. So then playing Payday 2 without music at all is just jarring. It's so odd. It's so strange.
It must be a sad experience. Yeah.
It's so weird because it's too quiet. Even when there's like so many bullets firing, it's like something's missing here. I don't like this.
Yeah.
So more recently, I just started putting the music back on again.
I can imagine.
And I'm just like, well, if like unless it's a very important video, I don't put too much emphasis on the background music anymore. I used to, in a lot of my videos, would just get a particular like loop of like the assault music or something and just have it playing throughout the whole video. Then began to realize I was like, it's the same song playing continuously throughout the way through. It's like, yeah, that's probably getting a bit tiresome, and I just tried a few without the music and just let the gameplay music in the background play, and I was like, no, that works better. So like now I can just leave the music to play and be happy. When I have to occasionally turn the music down, it's very strange.
Very quiet.
Yes. Do not recommend. No. 10 out of 10, don't recommend.
Do not recommend.
But I do want to ask you a little bit about another Payday thing in a minute. You can probably see what's coming. But before I do, one thing I quite like to do when I bring people onto this is obviously there's always something in particular, especially with this show. It's like, oh, you're known for this particular bit of work. But I like to sometimes explore other things that people have done. So I wanted to ask you, as one of the closing questions, is there any particular work you've done for other games or even just music composition in general that stand out for you beyond Payday 2? Anything else that you're particularly proud of you want to talk about?
I'm really quite fond of 2 projects that I did in the past. One of them is for a game called Rise of Industry.
Okay.
It's it's a simulation, a tycoon type of game,
All right.
So not everybody cup of tea, but I really like tycoon games as well. I really like simulations. I really love them, and to work on that soundtrack was really, really cool. I did I think 3 hours of music or something like that. So it was a lot of music, and that was really fun to do. And then another one is a game called. These are all indie games, right? Because I only worked with indies before working with Overkill.
Right.
And this other game that I really enjoyed scoring is called Reaching for Petals, and it's a very.
I've heard of that.
Oh, you heard of it?
I feel like I've heard of that.
That's really cool.
Maybe it's just because I've seen it on your bio, but that sounds familiar. I'm going to look that up right now because I feel like I know that name. I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting to do that. It's also not everybody's cup of tea, but it's kind of one of those walking simulation games. So it's really poetic, So you have like beautiful stuff to look at.
Oh yeah.
And
looking at some of the screenshots for it, that's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a story that you go through, and you have some choices to decide from. But I really enjoy doing the soundtrack for that, because it's very different from what I do to Payday. It was like piano and some strings, some acoustic guitars here and there. It was really, really calm and melancholic, and I really like doing that type of music as well. Those 2, I really enjoyed working on them. Of course, all of the games that I did, I really enjoyed working on them. There's a lot of indie stuff that I worked on in this past 3 years or so, 4 years or so, and I really enjoyed all of them. You can find more about them in my website, but these 2 really stood out to me, and I'm working on another 2 games right now that I'm really enjoying. One of them is called Nerve, and it's an arcade racing game. So it's very adrenaline driven,
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of drum and bass for it, and it's super fun, messing a lot with synthesizers. It's been great, and it's in early access right now, but it's in development.
Okay.
And yeah, And another one, it's completely opposite from that, is a point and click adventure.
Ooh.
Which I'm also a big fan of point and click adventures. So it's called Lord Winklebottom Investigates.
Okay, I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, it's about a giraffe who is a detective. That's really it's really fun. It's a really fun game. Yeah, it's so yeah. If you enjoy point and click, go check that out. I've been enjoying doing the music for that as well.
Did I misread, or did I see somewhere that you said you did the music for Judge Rinder?
Oh yeah, I didn't do the music for Judge Rinder, but I had a few placements. So a couple of my tracks that I did in the past were used in Judge Rinder.
Oh, okay. I mean, that probably means nothing to most people listening, but I know the show. It's like the UK version of Judge Judy. If people are listening, if you know who Judge Judy is, if you don't, then there's no point in me trying to explain it more than that. But
that's fun because I never watched it, so I'm not really sure what's it about. What is it about? So
it's weird because I've not seen a great deal of it. It's more kind of like televised court cases. Mm-hmm. Normally it's very pathetic things where like someone's suing somebody else for something like usually very petty, like on the street stories. You don't normally get anything that's particularly massive. And there's this judge who's like trying to like figure out the case and solve it one way or the other. You get a lot of like sass in it. There's a lot of like, oh, well, it sounds like you're being a bit of a bitch to this person or whatever. And it's normally very daft stuff.
Nice. Yeah, that was weird because I used to work with some music libraries who license music for TV, TV and movies.
Right. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, so they have like this massive catalog of music, all with keywords, different keywords and all that. And the producers of the show or the editors of a certain show, they can go into there and license music from these libraries. And that's how I turned out to be in Judge Rinder. Yeah, they licensed one of my tracks.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting that you heard of it because nobody I ever talked to knew what
I was going to say, like...
Because it's an UK thing, right?
Yeah. And I imagine most people in the UK will still probably be like, well, there'll probably be like one person. There'll be like one person sat listening right now, maybe, who goes, oh, I've heard of Judge Rinder. So hello to that person for being as sad as I am. No, I just found that very funny for my own interest, to be honest with you. But right, so the big question: every time someone comes on here with any kind of connection to Payday, I think you know where this is going.
Oh,
every time someone comes on here who has any connection to Payday, there's always going to be one question that I've got to wind the show down with. You always save it to last because then people listen. No, they just skip to the end. Anyway. No, the thing I wanted to ask you was, as you will no doubt know, Payday 3 has been in the works now for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of stories about it, the design phase, now they're developing the game, now they're at this point, now they're at that point, and there's over time we're getting a lot more hype about it, especially because Payday's Twitter account just loves to constantly go on about it and just be a tease.
Oh,
which can get irritating when you've not seen very much of the game, but it's still great. So, my question to you, quite simply, do you know anything about it? And to follow on, because I'm pretty sure I know what the answer will be to that, would you like to be a part of it?
Well, do I know about it? Yes, I do know stuff about it. Can I talk about it?
Rewind?
Not really.
Not what I thought you would say. I thought you'd say no.
I caught you off guard, right? No, but I don't know that much about it. But I can't really talk about it.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Do you know much more than what the public know? Okay, that answers the question. No,
can we take some
don't
time
say
here?
Don't say anything. That says enough. It's fine. It's fine. I won't ask you to answer now. That sums it up for me. Well, hot damn. That's good. The only person I've ever had was Damien, and I was like, hey, do you know anything? He was like, yes. It's like, can you talk about it? No. It's like, fair enough. Everyone else has been, I know nothing. I'd love to be in it. I'd love to be involved. Like, Damien surprised me, and you've just done the same thing. Or you're like, no, I know stuff. I'm like, I was expecting you to just go no, and then be like, would you like to be in it? It's like, well, yeah, be cool, whatever. You've caught me off guard, so congratulations. So I can't really ask you the question of would you like to be in it, because if I ask you that, then that could put you in a compromising situation, so I probably need to leave that there.
No, okay.
That's got me interested, though, that you do potentially have some insider knowledge. I like the sound of that. That certainly makes the Payday 3 section of the episode a lot shorter, because normally it's like, let's just talk about what we think about it, because you can say what you think when you don't know anything, but when you do, it's like, oh, maybe I should, just put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I look forward to finding out what you know at some point when it's made public in 50 years' time. No.
Yeah, no.
Because, the game's still, like, at least 2-ish years away. At least. It's probably going to be more, I reckon. Because they're currently like, it's between 2022 and 2023. And I reckon, personally, they'll probably push it towards the latter end. The only persuading thing I've had is I've looked at, they've sometimes posted their, like, financial reports and, like, the projections. And I can't remember whether it was in 2021 or 2022 where they had a notable spike in what they thought that, like, I think it was the price of their shares was going to be. So I'm thinking maybe they'll release it in 2 years' time, but I think they'll probably leave it as long as they can, so they can put a lot of effort into it, because this game's been hyped about for so long now. It was officially kind of confirmed, like, over 4 years ago now, I think it was 2016. There's been, like, a whisper on the wind for so long, and it always makes me laugh that most people seem to not know about it.
Yeah.
Because you always get those, like I said, especially on the Twitter, you get someone going, where's Payday 3? Is Payday 3 going to happen? And you always get them retweeting going, yes, it's happening. And every time I saw a tweet like that, I'd be like, we've known about this for years. How do people not know? And then they did that big tweet when they hit 100,000 followers, and they were like, it's coming in 2022 to 2023. It's going to be on a new engine, blah, 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 blah. And the way everyone exploded over it, and I was sat here thinking,
yeah,
I knew about this stuff about 3 months ago. Hate to say it, but if you've been watching my videos, you should have known this for a while. But, I was just sort of thinking, it's wild that so many people didn't know, and that every day you get more people finding out. It's like this like Chinese whispers game where, like, not everyone's still got the whisper yet. It's still going round. I think it's so funny. I just keep saying, I think they should do, like, just even like a logo teaser, something really, really tiny to be like, hey, there's a game coming in a bit, like what they've done. I don't know whether you saw the Hitman people, IOI, they just, I think it was yesterday, did like a little 10-second thing being like, hey, we're making a Bond game. And everyone was like, oh my god, Bond game. So, like, just something like that, because then whenever someone says it's Payday 3 happening, you've got a link to something there to be like, hey, Payday 3, you like that, don't you? Yeah, I bet you like that. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then it just, I don't know, but I'm so excited for that, and that'll be another game where when it comes out, I'll spend an embarrassing amount of time playing. But hey, it's a part of the job, straight and tie. I'm so looking forward to it.
Just part of the job. Yeah.
There's such a hype for it, and I really hope it lives up to it. But I've got a lot of faith that they're gonna try the best, I think, personally, to build off what made Payday 2 great. I think that'll hopefully, as long as it's similar enough to Payday 2, where it's got some new elements, but it doesn't lose sight of what made it so popular to begin with. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'd be very, very hard to mess that up.
Yeah, no. One thing I can tell you for sure, it's that the Overkill team is working really, really hard on it, and I'm sure they're gonna put out the best game they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So I'm excited to see where that goes as well.
And I'm really excited just to see it be on a new engine. I mean, that engine they run on with Payday 2, I've got to give them credit for purely still managing to add new stuff to it and not have the whole game collapse under the weight of it from that. Because, oh boy, a racing engine from 2001 or whatever it was manages to hold all that content. Fair play to them for managing to keep it working for this long, because that could have quite easily
no, that was an achievement.
That is an achievement and a half.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
But it's really cool to see that Payday 3 is coming in the Unreal Engine, because it's a really good engine and it's solid, and we know that it's going to be supported.
It'll be very interesting. I can't wait to see what's in it, and well, see how you may play into it now.
Yeah.
Just like the little like glares, just like that one picture of Shrek where he's like, just like that stare.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, if nothing else in this episode, you've certainly shocked me in knowing something, because I thought that most people just didn't know. So I'm very excited. Well, that about rounds off everything that I wanted to ask you. So all I've got to say to you is thank you very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It was really, really cool to finally meet you and be here.
Yeah, it's been a right blast. Especially because you occasionally I would leave replies to my tweets and stuff, be like, hey, I've seen this video of yours, and I'd be like, what? Oh my god, thank you. I always
I always try to follow your work. Like I don't have time to watch all of the videos, but I always try to see what you're doing, and you're doing such a great job.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. It was the Avengers one in particular that made me laugh. Where you're like, hey, I really like the Avengers video. I watched that and I was like, you're one of the only people who did watch that one.
Yeah, no, because I was interested in the game, and I wanted to know what you thought of it.
Yeah.
I still haven't played it though.
I mean, my opinions are not quite the same as they were when I made that video, mainly because they've literally not added anything to it since it launched. It's been a bit of a poor handling of it, I have to be honest. But they've confirmed now that the first character will be added in on December 8th, so I'll pop back in and see what that's like, and that'll help me judge whether or not I'm going to get a lot more life out of this. Because I played it to death thinking like, oh, when they add the like proper like endgame content, it'll be really cool. Actually, endgame content's a bit of an Avengers pun there. Haha, I'm so funny. It's not funny when you point it out. It's not funny when you point it out. But you get the point. I was like, I'll work towards whatever this endgame content's going to be, and it's not really showed itself too much yet. So I just kind of wore a bit thin with it, and I'm just like, well, if they add some more interesting stuff, then I'm down for it, because it's just. It worries me the amount of players it's got now. Like, at the player count, it's pretty low from what I've heard, but then they've gone and said, oh, we're going to keep supporting it going into next year. It's like, okay, well, again, like Star Wars Battlefront 2, it's like, well, let's see where you go. You might end up making it even better for, like, the multiplayer stuff and just see where it takes it, because the story in itself is fantastic. Like, I've not changed my mind on that, and I think, really, when you compare it to a lot of other story-based games, that the story probably makes up alone for the $60 price tag. I really do think it's that strong. If you're a Marvel fan, you eat that stuff up.
Yeah, cool.
I just think it's a shame that the Destiny style like games as a service thing they tried to work on didn't go down quite as well as it could have done. So, but see where it goes. Just see where it goes and take it from there. But
yeah,
that's the end of that weird Avengers side bit. So before we wrap it up, are there any social pages, websites, all that kind of thing that you want to share for people to follow you on and keep in touch with your work?
Yeah, I think the best place to follow me if you want to keep in touch and know what I'm doing is my Twitter, which is Abrasounds. And that's really it. If you want to find out more about the games I worked on, you can go to my website, which is abrasounds.com. And yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for having me. And yeah,
it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been great.
My pleasure.
I'll make sure to link both of those in the description. I need to have a look at your website more and have a look more at what you've actually done, because I know I saw the Judge Rinder thing, but I haven't looked too much more beyond that. So
it's a very outdated website. I'm working on fixing it, but I need to update it. But for now, it is what it is.
But it's time for a bit of self-promotion, which this time I warned Gustavo about, because most of the time I just jump in on people without them realising, and they're just sat here listening to me pushing everything. But enjoy this, Gustavo. I hope you enjoyed the promotion. But to everyone listening, I hope you have enjoyed the show. As always, if you have, and you're listening on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you're following the podcast to keep up to date with new episodes every 2 weeks. And as I said at the start of the video, if you do fancy getting 2 days early access to these episodes, then just head over to www.patreon.com/RedArcherLive and pledge as little as £1, and you get that early access, so you get to listen to the episodes on Saturdays instead of Mondays. But either way, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in 2 weeks' time with another episode of the Redcast. Until then, thank you all so much for listening. Once again, Gustavo, I've said it about 5 times now, but thank you very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Likewise. And thank you to all of you for listening. I'll see you all soon.